Today, we have a very encouraging update on one of the horses injured in the shocking Las Vegas barrel horse stabbing. If you've been following Detail's recovery, you'll know that while her physical injuries have been healing, the emotional recovery has proven to be one of the biggest challenges. But now, weeks after uncertainty, her owner has shared a milestone that many people have been hoping for. Detail finally laid down and slept while attending a horse show. For most horse owners, that may not sound like a big accomplishment. But for a horse that has been struggling with trauma-related sleep deprivation and symptoms consistent with narcolepsy after surviving such a terrifying attack, it is an incredibly meaningful step forward. As always, before we begin, we're not veterinarians, and this video is for educational purposes only. The information we're sharing comes from updates that Detail's owner has publicly shared about her recovery. When Detail was stabbed in her stall during the Las Vegas barrel racing event, everyone immediately focused on the physical injuries. Fortunately, those wounds have been healing. However, as time went on, another challenge became apparent. According to her owner, Detail developed what appeared to be trauma-related narcolepsy and symptoms consistent with post-traumatic stress after the attack. Horses need to lie down to achieve REM sleep. If they don't feel safe enough to do that, they can become sleep deprived over time. In some cases, prolonged sleep deprivation can contribute to episodes where a horse suddenly buckles or partially collapses because its body is desperately trying to enter REM sleep. That's why this latest update is so important. A horse show is not typically the easiest place for a horse to relax. There are unfamiliar horses, new sights and sounds, trailers coming and going, loudspeakers, and constant activity. For many horses, it's an exciting environment. For a horse recovering from severe emotional trauma, it could be overwhelming. Yet, despite all of that, Detail felt safe enough to lie down and sleep. That single moment represents something much bigger than just taking a nap. It suggests that at least for that period of time, she was beginning to regain the sense of security that had been taken from her. That progress didn't happen by accident. Her owner, Ariel Phillips, has been doing everything she can think of to help Detail recover emotionally, as well as physically. She has deeply bedded Detail's stall to make it as inviting and as comfortable as possible, hoping to encourage her to lie down and rest. She played calming music to create a peaceful environment. She's incorporated red light therapy into Detail's care. She worked with trauma specialists who understand how severe fear can affect horses. She's used CBD as part of Detail's overall management plan. And perhaps most importantly, she's remained incredibly patient throughout the entire process, understanding that emotional healing can't be rushed. Anyone who has cared for a horse dealing with sleep deprivation or narcolepsy knows that there isn't a simple overnight solution. Every horse responds differently. Sometimes you make changes and see no improvement for weeks. Sometimes progress comes in tiny steps that most people would never notice. Then one day something changes. That's exactly why Detail sleeping at a horse show is such an encouraging update. It doesn't necessarily mean she's completely recovered. Healing from trauma is rarely a straight line. There will likely continue to be good days and difficult days. But it does mean that her owner finally witnessed something she had been working so hard to achieve. A horse that felt secure enough to completely let her guard down. For prey animals, lying down is one of the most vulnerable positions they can be in. They don't make that decision lightly. After surviving such a violent attack inside what should have been one of the safest places imaginable, rebuilding that confidence takes time. Detail's story is also reminding many horse owners that emotional injuries can last much longer than physical ones. The cut and stab wounds may eventually heal. The fear can take much longer. That's why owners sometimes need to care for both the body and the mind. One of the things many people have admitted throughout this journey is Ariel's willingness to try multiple approaches instead of giving up when one thing didn't immediately work. She continued adapting Detail's environment, looking for ways to help her relax, and celebrating every small victory along the way. Those small victories matter. Sometimes recovery isn't measured by winning competitions or returning to full work. Sometimes it's measured by a horse finally lying down. Sometimes it's measured by one peaceful night's sleep. Those moments can represent enormous progress. The equestrian community has continued following Detail's story because it reminds all of us how resilient horses can be and how powerful the bond between a horse and its owner truly is. Recovery isn't just about closing wounds. It's about restoring confidence. It's about rebuilding trust. And it's about giving a horse the time and support they need to heal at their own pace. We'll continue following Detail's recovery and share verified updates as they become available. We continue wishing Detail, Ariel, Sully, Rocket, and everyone affected by this heartbreaking tragedy the very best as they move forward. Thank you so much for joining us. And remember, I am not AI. If you listen closely, you can hear me breathing.